There is a very specific, deeply uncomfortable frustration that hits a highly intellectual, incredibly prideful person when they watch you effortlessly glide through a door they have been desperately banging their head against for a decade. Right now, there are people in your periphery who are entirely paralyzed by your current elevation. They are looking at your life, analyzing your timeline, and their minds are completely short-circuiting. They know your history. They know what broke you. They saw the financial hit you took. They saw the brutal betrayal you endured. Or they watched you walk away from a toxic dynamic with absolutely nothing but the clothes on your back. According to their logical, carnal math, you were supposed to be stuck in a miserable recovery phase for the next 5 to 10 years. They expected you to become bitter. They expected you to struggle. Instead, you woke up one morning, completely bypassed the struggling phase, and stepped directly into a level of mastery, peace, and abundance that they cannot even begin to comprehend. You solved a massive, generational puzzle in a single night, and it is driving them absolutely crazy. I want to pull the curtain back on the exact mechanics of what the spiritual realm calls a quantum leap. We need to have a very raw conversation about why your rapid transformation is currently terrifying the people who expected you to fail, and exactly what happened on that one specific night that changed the trajectory of your entire bloodline. To understand their awe, you have to understand the heavy, exhausting way the rest of the world operates. Normal people, toxic people, and individuals who are disconnected from the Creator operate on a system of ego mechanics. When they face a massive life problem, like a broken heart, a failed business, or a deep childhood trauma, they try to fix it using only their human intellect. They hold on to grudges for 20 years, thinking that anger is a form of protection. They read endless self-help books, just so they can weaponize psychological buzzwords against their partners. They plot, they scheme, they manipulate, and they spend decades trying to untangle a massive, complicated knot with their bare hands. They pride themselves on how hard they are working to fix their lives, but they never actually heal. They just carry the heavy knot around with them everywhere they go. Then they look at you. They handed you the exact same heavy, complicated knot. They put you in an impossible situation. But instead of sitting there for 20 years trying to manually untangle the mess they made, you did something that completely shattered their entire reality. You dropped the knot. Let's talk about the reality of that one night. Because the people who are in awe of your current success did not see the agonizing, beautiful surrender that happened behind closed doors. They didn't see you pacing your bedroom floor at 2 a.m. They didn't see the moment the absolute exhaustion finally broke your human pride. For a long time, you tried to fix it yourself, didn't you? You tried to figure out why they lied to you. You tried to calculate how you were going to make the money back. You tried to strategize your way out of the darkness. And it was slowly killing your spirit. But on that one specific night, your knees hit the floor. You looked up, completely drained of your own strength, and you made the most dangerous, powerful declaration a chosen one can ever make. I cannot do this anymore. You take it. You completely surrendered the timeline. You surrendered the need for an apology. You surrendered the need to understand why it happened. You took your hands entirely off the steering wheel. When you fully surrender to the Creator, you stop operating on human time, and you step into divine acceleration. God did not ask you to untangle the knot. He just handed you a sword and told you to cut it in half. The very next morning, you woke up and the heavy, suffocating anxiety that had been sitting on your chest for months was just gone. The obsession with getting revenge evaporated. The fear of the future was replaced by a quiet, incredibly intimidating confidence. The business idea that had been completely blocked suddenly downloaded into your brain in pure HD clarity. You received a direct spiritual download. This is what your observers cannot handle. They are mesmerized and terrified by you because your overnight shift completely invalidates their excuses. If you can heal from massive trauma, forgive the unforgivable, and rebuild your life into a masterpiece this quickly, it forces them to ask a very painful question about themselves. Why am I still miserable? Why am I still talking about the same dramatic problem I had 5 years ago? Your rapid elevation exposes their intentional stagnation. They are asking, how did you know to make that investment? Or, how did you know to cut that person off before they could ruin your reputation? They want your formula. They want you to sell them the secret step-by-step strategy so they can replicate your success. But you cannot teach someone how to have the Holy Spirit. You cannot bottle up the instinct that told you to walk away from a bad deal. You cannot write a textbook on how God gives you dreams that warn you about fake friends. Your genius is not a product of an Ivy League education or a 20-step morning routine. Your genius is a direct byproduct of your purity and your obedience. God trusts you with high-level solutions because He knows you will not use the blessing to crush other people. He gave you the answers to the test because you were the only one in the room actually willing to do the grueling, invisible, inner work to purify your heart. So, what happens now? What do you do with all these wide, shocked eyes watching your every move? You do absolutely nothing to accommodate their shock. Sometimes, when a chosen one experiences a massive quantum leap, they accidentally feel guilty about it. You might look at your old friends or your family members who are still struggling with the same toxic cycles, and your empathetic heart might want to slow down. You might feel the urge to downplay your success. You might want to shrink your vocabulary, hide your new blessings, or pretend you are still struggling, just so you don't make them feel bad about themselves. I am completely forbidding you from doing that today. Do not you dare put your trauma clothes back on, just because the people around you are intimidated by your crown. If they are in awe of your healing, let them be in awe. If they are shocked by your sudden financial favor, let them be shocked. Your life is not meant to be a comfortable blanket for their insecurities. Your life is meant to be a blazing, undeniable billboard for the absolute restorative power of the Creator. You are living proof that God restores the years the locusts ate. You are the physical evidence that a person can walk through pure hell, entirely bypass the bitterness phase, and emerge completely untouched, smelling absolutely nothing like the smoke. Let them whisper. Let them analyze your moves. Let them scramble to figure out how you solved a 10-year problem in 24 hours. They are watching a masterclass on divine favor. And the absolute best thing you can do for them is keep teaching the class by simply living your beautiful, highly elevated life. Take a massive, lung-expanding breath right now. Feel the absolute lightness in your spirit. You dropped the heavy knot, and you are never picking it back up again. I want to bring this to the community because the overnight shift is one of the most profound experiences of this journey. Do you remember that specific night? The night you finally stopped fighting, completely surrendered the situation to God, and woke up the next morning feeling like a literal ton of bricks had been removed from your chest. How fast did your life change after you finally let go? Share your beautiful turning point in the comments. Your exact story is going to be the catalyst that gives someone else the courage to drop their heavy knot tonight. Keep your head incredibly high and keep moving at the speed of grace. You are brilliant.